How's it going, everybody? Whew, what a pay-per-view! What an interesting show, to say the least. Before I get too much into it, I'm just gonna say that overall, I thought the pay-per-view was an okay show, not too bad. I think it's one of their better, if you could say, B pay-per-views. B-rated pay-per-views, meaning not the big four, obviously. So one of their bigger throwaway pay-per-views, I guess you could say. A lot of good, some bad, a little confusing, but shall we start? Yes, we shall. All right. So, we have the first match of the night. First match, which was basically unannounced. Well, made the last second actually. Mark Henry versus Bo Dallas, and uh, poor Bo. Guy started off red hot, debuting WWE, and now just can't catch a break. Anyways, we move on. Okay, so we move on to the 2 out of 3 falls Intercontinental Championship match between Cesaro and Dolph Ziggler. And overall, pretty good, pretty good match as you could probably expect. Both these guys are very talented and they have good chemistry with each other. First fall went to Dolph Ziggler after he rolled up Cesaro. The second fall went to uh, Dolph Ziggler, and that was pretty much it. You just needed 2 falls there after Dolph hit the zigzag on Dolph. I mean, hit on Cesaro, excuse me. Um, a pretty dominant win, I think. Good match, but I think when I mean by dominant, I mean it's like, oh, it wasn't tied 1-1, and Ziggler won. He could clean sweep. He won 2 straight. So, you know, the thing was too with Ziggler is obviously he's a very talented. A lot of people like him. I'm a fan of his, but obviously he's been losing matches of late. So him winning 2 straight kind of makes him look a little bit dominant, especially against a very talented superstar like Cesaro. So overall, not too bad. So then we move on to the Bella versus Bella. That's right, the big titty Wonder Woman Bella versus hippie Bella. And the loser of the match would be the winner's assistant for 30 days from the month. And I don't care what you say about the Divas match. This was the best Divas match of the night. Best Divas match of the night. Again, I said it. And no, I'm not sorry, because I meant it. It's funny how, like, in the beginning of this feud, it was so stupid. The whole growing up Bella. And everything about it, the Jerry Springer, it was just all too anticlimactic, anti-dramatic, no, not anti-BS, because it wasn't BS. Just a stupid way to begin the feud, but WWE finally got away with that, thank God. But except for they came from, okay, we're gonna take it over the top, so we're gonna put it all the way to the bottom. It's like they don't even care about this feud anymore. But overall, good match. Nikki winning made sense. Obviously the face has to chase the heel, not vice versa. So makes sense. Big Titty Bella wins. And then later on in the night, you had a little backstage segment where Brie gave Nikki her smoothie. And then Nikki's like, oh, thanks. And then she just dumped the smoothie on Brie's head and said, oh, go make me another one. And then she got in the car, and Brie, you could tell she was upset. And can't wait till this airs on Total Divas, guys. Okay. So then we go on to the Usos versus Star and Gold. The tag team titles. And just a typical Usos versus Star Goldust match. Very entertaining, good match. Good solid tag team wrestling. I know some people were predicting the Usos when I feel like, how? Why? They just lost the belt, or they winning just like that. But again, very good match. Stardust and Goldust get the win. A little cheap shot from Stardust, a little heel heat from doing that, but it did what it needed to do, and it was very entertaining. Alright, cool. So then we go on to, according to Michael Cole, the greatest Hell in a Cell match in history, which is the total most BS thing I've heard in God knows forever. Randall Keith Orton versus, you know, versus John Felix Anthony Cena. But the 18th billion time we see these two fight, and believe it or not, it was not the main event. I was like, holy shit, WWE's actually not putting these guys in the main event? Thank you, God. Thank you. But yes, of course, beyond the stipulation, the winner basically faces Brock, number one contendership for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So, You know, I'm not gonna say this match was horrible. Obviously, it wasn't the worst Hell in a Cell match. Nothing kind of bad. They did use part of the cage. They, they used some steel chairs. They used the, you know, side of the Hell in a Cell cage, whatever you want to call it. So, it's glad they used somewhat instead of just, okay, they just straight up wrestling in the cage, which I was afraid they were going to go to. But, it was an okay match. I mean, you've seen one Randy Orton match, you've seen John Cena match, you've seen them all. I mean, I think WWE was getting a little carried away with the whole RKO out of nowhere, freaking Vine. So this other Vine, they're like, okay, now we gotta give this the hit gimmick. RKO out of nowhere, out of nowhere, RKO, it's like Cena ate like 3 RKOs and shit, but wins the match by hitting a super AA, jumping off the top rope, right? Putting C4 right through table. So, overall, okay match. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't the greatest ever, as freaking the announcers gotta make it seem that isn't it? But you know what? It was okay match. It wasn't bad. It had some good stuff in it. So. Anyways, moving to the United States Championship match between The Miz versus Sheamus fella. And not a bad match. I mean, it was alright. I guess it was somewhat passable. Miz Dow again, as usual, was over as hell. And all you gotta know is Miz got hit with a brogue kick, Sheamus wins, and then the comedy began. And what I mean by that is, there was at one point, when the match was over, Sheamus literally just held up the Miz's hand like this. Miz does it the same exact thing, and the crowd was loving it. They were cracking up the announcers. It was a little cute, little funny comedy segment. I mean, I didn't have too much of a problem with it. I can understand how some people do. I mean, they were doing the YMCA at one point, but overall, I thought it was alright. It was. Every show needs a little comedy segment. If this was it, I'd rather take this over freaking, some weird Adam Rose segment, Hornswoggle BS. Alright, I'll take this any day over that. Moving on. Rusev versus the Big Show. Yeah. I hated this match. I'm sorry. Big Show's old. He's slower than ever. Rusev sucks. I mean, I understand people say, oh, Rusev's improving. What does that say to you? The guy sucks in general. I hope to God he's improved. It's like saying Kelly improved later on in her career. I'm not saying Rusev's attacks Kelly because I know people are going to be like, but, people are, I hope to God you progress through time, because if you don't, what are you doing there? I'm sorry, I just can't get into Rusev. We all know he's gonna get back to at WrestleMania. Anyways, Mark Henry comes out. I swear I smelled the heel turn from a mile away. It did not happen. Rusev kept on getting all these big kicks to the jaws of the Big Show. Rusev hits the accolade on the Big Show. Big Show does not tap out. He just passes out. And yeah. Now we had a backstage segment about Dean Ambrose talking about the Walking Dead, and I said it myself, and be honest with me. Can you picture freaking Dean Ambrose, a.k.a. the Joker's long-lost son, greasy-looking pedophile hobo, on the freaking Walking Dead? I can't. I can see it now. See it now. Rick's all like, gotta watch out for walkers. And freaking Dean's all like, yeah, I can see it now. Anyways, we had the Divas match between Paige, the Crumpet, with the 12-year-old Miss April Brooks. And, as much as I hate the 12-year-old Miss April Brooks, I know how talented she is, and I obviously know how talented Paige is. I'm a patron. Why don't these two ever have good chemistry with each other? I mean, I know not every good worker works well together. I mean, we've seen it, this generation, we've seen it in the past generations, where you have two talented individuals, they get in the ring and you think, okay, this should be a great match because they both work well. But with each other, it's just like, not saying this match was bad, it was okay, it was decent, but you expected more to this match. I mean, you had a bad match, I think, at Payback, was kind of sloppy. I think that was just like AJ and Rust. SummerSlam was better. Night of Champions, this one was forgettable. Just put it that way. But AJ wins, and Yay, the reign of AJ Lee being the John Cena of the Divas division. I can't wait for this because you know when 99.9% of your Divas division is on Total Divas and they ain't winning shit because Vince is all like, God damn it, these Total Divas ain't winning the Divas Championship. Damn it. That's what's gonna happen. You know, whether you want to admit it or not. So then we go on to the main event, the Hell in the Cell, and this murdered, and I mean freaking murdered, slaughtered, raped, destroyed, obliterated, anything you can think of, distinguish the and Hell in a Cell match because this was good. Until, yeah, I'll get to a little bit, but you know, you had Dean coming out there with channeling his inner Mick Foley. You know, gets all these weapons, throws it in the ring, gets a kendo stick, looking like freaking, I don't know, Indiana Jones with his little thing in the back. And then he just climbs up on the cell, waiting for Seth. Seth comes out, and is like, "Oh, you want to come up there?" You know, he has Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble with him. And they're like, "Don't go on the cage, don't go on the cage." He's like, "I'm getting on the cage." He's like, "No, I'm not getting on the cage." So then Mercury and Noble get on top of the cell. They brawl with Dean. Then Seth gets on there and starts a double team. Seth wants them to throw Dean off the cell. I would lock my ass off if that happened. That's just me. And then, you know, Dean fights back. And then there's one spot that I think a lot of people like, including myself. There's one part where on the announcer side of the cell, you know, the right side, I guess if you're looking straight, like a perfect view, you're on the right side of the cell where the announce tables are. You know, they start brawling on top of there. I'm like, no, they're gonna bomb. No, they're gonna fly all the way like that and just land on freaking announce tables. It did exactly that. Dean hits the headbutt. Seth goes flying. Dean goes flying as well. Each laying on an announce table. And I was like, wow, you know, the crowd loved this match. They ate this match alive. And this is why WWE did a good job putting this as the main event. So then the EMTs and company come out, you know, everyone's like, oh, this match gonna end, boo boo. Again, Dean Ambrose, for the second time in the match, enters his inner Mick Foley. He gets up and he's like, give me more pain. And he basically started beating up on Seth Rollins, threw him into the cage, the cell, and then the referee's like, put the chain, put the chain, put the chain, put the chains on there, lock them in. And, you know, they basically started brawling out there with steel chairs, tables. I mean, it was just a pretty good physical match. You know, you had the Seth's Money in the Bank briefcase get involved. You know, Dean grabbed it, bashed it over Seth's head, almost had 3. They used to put him in the cinder block, and then the lights go out. We get this weird chant going on, and it's like I don't know what language it was. You know, if you guys don't know, I'm half Puerto Rican, and I know quite a bit of Spanish. I don't know if that was Spanish, French, Italian, German. Don't know what the hell that was. Like, and then we get this like freaking weird image in the middle of the ring. Like, what's that called? Freaking goddamn! Something on my tongue. I'm sorry, guys. Like this light glow image in the middle of the ring. I'm like, what the hell is this? And it sounded like Bray, and I'm like, people were like, oh, it's the Ascension. Someone said it was the Undertaker. I was like, what the hell? I think it was Stevie Breach. Nice job, Stevie. And then, you know, I was like, that's gotta be Bray. That sounds like his voice. And then out comes Bray, and hitting, I think it was his sister Abigail, I believe, on Dean Ambrose. And then Seth's sitting there like, what the hell? And then Seth covers him 1, 2, 3, you know, Rollins wins. And here's where I have the problem. This match was good. And if this was just a casual match, like, whatever, like, if this, this was just a match that was just like, okay, it wasn't so much invested in it, it wasn't Hell in a Cell, I'd say, okay, I understand it, good. You know, you're obviously building up to Bray versus Dean, so Randy could face Seth, and Cena probably faces fucking Lesnar. But anyways, why? It's like, to me, you had something so good here, and then you just put Bray in there out of freaking nowhere, unannounced, and it just kills. Like, even the crowd hated it, and it wasn't like, oh, cheap heat for Bray. It was just like them going to WWE, like, what the hell? Like, the crowd was stunned. And I get it, you're supposed to have the surprise element. That's great. I'd rather it be a surprise element to be like, yep, yeah, of course they do this. No, like, your match was at an all-time high. Like, it was going fairly well. And then you bring in Bray, and it's just like, and I'm a fan of Bray. I'm not hating on Bray Wyatt. You know, I like that guy. But it's just like, like, okay. I understand you want Bray versus Dean. That should be an interesting feud. Both guys are complete lunatics, so that should be a hysterical feud to say the least. But save this for Raw. You have 24 hours to another 3 hours, wrestling show. Save it for Raw. Why are you putting it here? You want to put Dean over, that's fine. You want to put Seth over, that's fine. I don't care. Both these guys are very talented. A lot of people like them. As much as, make fun of Dean Ambrose, facing the long-lost X-Men Seth Rollins, the guy has talent. But why do you have to end it like this? You could have saved it for 24 hours. It would be just one day away. Overall, I thought it was a good show. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't. I want to say it was spectacular. I mean, the Hell in a Cell match overall, minus the ending, was great, I thought. And, the pay-per-view I thought was solid. Just confusion at the end with the whole Bray thing. And I know it's supposed to be suspense, and you're bringing the feud with him and Dean. That's great, that's fine. It should be interesting segments and match probably, but I don't know. I mean, the ending, it's like a bad, weird taste. It's like when you go over and you get your favorite dish at a restaurant. You know what you're gonna get, and you're tasting it. It's like, oh, this is good. I love this food. And then, right when you're done chewing and devouring your meal, you have this weird taste that you're like, what the hell is this? So, the only way I could describe it. That's just me. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this review. Holy crap, it's almost 17 minutes. Catch y'all later.